Hey, customers, welcome back to another episode of Frankie's Fast Five, where we cover the news and reviews just for yous. This video will be covering April 1st through April 7th. Movie news this week was a little slow. We do have Star Wars Celebration taking place this weekend. We'll be getting into all the news that comes out of that next week's episode. But before this episode was recorded, we did get a trailer for Ahsoka. The trailer looked fantastic. The show's going to be great. It's going to be all about finding Emperor Thrawn and Ezra. This summer is going to be really interesting for Disney Plus because we not only have Ahsoka coming out in August, we also have Secret Invasion coming out in June. And with Secret Invasion, we also got a trailer for that this week. It's going to be great. We've got an amazing cast in that. Samuel L. Jackson's awesome. So I'm really looking forward to it. With this trailer, we kind of got a feel for the show. Looks like it's going to be kind of like an espionage. I'm hoping a little bit more of the style of Winter Soldier, the second Captain America movie. We also had DC release a trailer for their upcoming Blue Beetle. This is apparently the first project to be included with James Gunn's DCU. Not 100% sure how that works because he really didn't have uh, anything to do with this one, but if it fits, it fits. Do have to give DC some props though. They are creating the first live action superhero movie with a Hispanic lead, which is really cool. We do also have Spider Man Across the Spider Verse with an actual full length trailer. This is the sequel to the Oscar winning Spider Verse movie that came out a couple years ago. This is going to be a lot of fun as well. I'm really looking forward to it. We do have some interesting things that take place in this trailer. Looks like Oscar Isaac's character is probably going to actually be the bad guy, which is a Spider Man 2099. He also brings up that the MCU is Earth 199999, and Kevin Feige's already said the MCU is Earth 616. It's going to be kind of weird to see how this all plays out. What other trailers we had this week is Barbie, starring Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling. Really not 100% sure what this movie's supposed to be. Kind of has some comedy to it. Kind of seems like it's going to be some existential crisis going on. But it's got a great cast. I mean, Will Ferrell's even in this, and it's just random. There's Simu Liu. Like I said, Ryan Gosling's Ken. It's just a lot of people showing up in this. And then Ari Aster, the writer and director of Hereditary and Midsummer. Hereditary is probably my favorite horror movie of all time. His next project, Beau is Afraid, had a trailer come out. It's going to be starring Joaquin Phoenix. You get a great actor like that with such a crazy director and writer. I'm sure this movie is going to be something to really watch. For the reviews this week, this is going to be our last time covering Tad Lasso until we get into the season finale. Because it's hard to just come on here and tell you guys every week. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's always a lot of fun to watch Ted and the AFC Richmond guys. We did get to see Ted finally like talk to his ex-wife about how she's now dating their former marriage counselor. I'm sure that has got to be some kind of conflict of interest, but it's good to see him actually stand up and say like, "Hey, this is bothering me." We also got to see how Nate's dealing with like joining the world with Rupert and that whole side of soccer, or excuse me, football. But we'll see how the rest of the season goes. We'll check in with you guys at the finale. Mandalorian, of course, another great episode. Bo-Katan's definitely taking over as the Mandalorian. I'm not a fan of how this episode ended. She gets the dark saber back. Mando tries to say that he lost and she beat the person that beat him. I don't think that's right. He got trapped, and it just seemed kind of like a cop out, just trying to get away from like having to do a real intense fight between the two of them. Um, Also, a lot of cameos in this one. We had Jack Black, Lizzo. It's gonna be Christopher Lloyd. It's pretty great. Episode felt like a little bit like a Law and Order with a little bit of the story thrown in there. Inside came out to streaming this week. That's starring Willem Dafoe, where he plays an art thief and he gets trapped. It's quite interesting. He's on his own in this performance. There's some great music. It's really haunting with some stunning visuals. If you're into this kind of like slow paced, a little bit more trapped in one spot kind of movie, check this out. Also, check out our interview with Rick Ives, where we cover a couple more movies like that. In theaters this week, we had Air, that's Ben Affleck's new movie starring Matt Damon. I went and checked it out. It's all about how they got Michael Jordan to join with Nike and really change like the whole shoe industry. I do have some problems with this movie, so I can't give it a dope. I'm gonna lean towards an I8 on this one. It just really bothered me that they hired somebody to play Michael Jordan but refused to show his face. It's like they had to keep finding reasons not to show him. Now I understand that part of that is you don't want the movie to become about Michael Jordan. You want it to be about the shoes. But at the same time, it's just so weird to have an actor constantly like having to look at stuff in the background where you can't see him. If you're a big sneakerhead, I would definitely check this out in theaters. If not, and you're just kind of looking for that business type of movie like a Big Short, this will work. Or honestly, Tetris came out last week. That was a little bit better of a version of this kind of movie. We also had the Super Mario Brothers movie come out this week. That is something I was looking forward to, even though I wasn't a big fan of the Chris Pratt as Mario signing. But he actually pulled it off. Does a great job. It is a kids movie, of course, so you can't go in there expecting some fantastic writing. The story's a little shallow, but just being a kid who grew up with a Nintendo 64, I was super happy to see this movie. All the deep cuts that were in there. I mean, who knew we were going to hear the Donkey Kong rap from Donkey Kong 64? I mean, that was a lot of fun. And I'm sure if you go back and watch this movie, tons of Easter eggs in the background. I mean, they start off at Punch Out Pizza. So it's just a lot of fun to see this one. Customers, that's everything for this week. We'll be back next week where we'll be covering the Star Wars celebration and any other news and reviews that come out. We'll see you guys next week.